I want to test a new format for the opening because I think we have to get people's attention, and people like to threaten jeopardy. So I'm going to press the disclaimer in a minute, and I'm going to see if I can change the. I have here an enormous tube of lube, and I'm going to see if I can use the lube to insert this.
Oh! It's fizzy water.
It's fizzy lube.
It's
which is the best type.
Yeah. This is what we have instead of champagne during the week because we have to take some days off.
Dear me. Apparently, just carbonated water is bad for your teeth. And I'm like, really? Fuck's sake. Like, is there anything left that isn't bad for my teeth?
Well, fucking oxygen makes us age, so.
Oxygen is one of the most deadly things on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so I'm going to press the disclaimer. I'm going to see if I can change the canister and carbonate some water while that's playing. You're listening to the Beat Motel podcast, and we need to warn you that we like to use words like fuck, shit, and syndicalist, bounty scrotix, angry flap, and foot biscuits. And we don't often bleep those words out, apart from because we're not complete animals. But if you understand that and you like music, then listen on. Oh, so close. Hang on, I've got to get the water now. Right. What are you chuckling at?
Oh, so close. But, yeah.
Right, there you go. I failed. Do you think that'll lose us viewers?
Yeah. How long does this is an interesting thing for everybody. How long does one of your canisters last for? How many bottles do you think?
How many bottles? Fucking hell, I don't know. 60? I drink three of these a day, and these are 700 ml.
Jesus.
And a canister lasts me
endlessly.
It keeps me pure. A river runs through me. I don't know. I think I change the canister probably once every 3 months, but the one at home goes a lot faster because there's more people in my house. Yeah. So, what shall we start with riff of the week? Should we be traditional?
Yeah, let's do that.
We're just going to read a book during this episode.
No, this is relevant. I promise.
Is this relevant? Okay, well, here's your riff of the week. I mean, it's a little bit.
It's a bit.
No, Sam. No, that's wrong.
I mean, I would say that's a fine cheese.
Fine cheese.
It smells worse, and it smells, but it's bad, but it tastes so good.
I mean, what era is this knob cheese from?
1970s. So the album's released. The guy who it's Elvin Jones. Elvin Jones was the drummer behind a lot of the big John Coltrane stuff. So this is like full on jazz, but then I don't know, like it's a really groovy song. It's a really funky song called The Prime Element.
It's too groovy.
Yeah, and I was like really enjoying it. And then that keyboard comes in. I was like, oh, that's so. Oh, like you have something, and it's like it really has like a visceral.
It's chewy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it's really tart. It's like it's really it's like there's a bit too much vinegar in it. Oh. But at the same time, you then go back for more. It's like great. It's great. And yeah, it's really tasty. I found what I wanted to. I think I found what I wanted to find in this book.
Is it relevant to this track, or is it for later?
No, it's relevant to a later track.
Okay, so I've got an Alvin Elvin fact.
Alvin, and the space monks, as they were, jazz monks.
I tell you, I got a high court demand sent to my house once, and it was for Alvin Theodule, who's one of the chipmunks. I had to ring up Department for Work and Pensions and prove I wasn't a chipmunk.
Alvin Theodore. Alvin is one, and Theodore's another one.
Oh, right. Okay. Now I understand why the people at DWP were so confused, and I rang them. So, Elvin.
Now we're going to get really rude letters after you think Alvin and Theodore. It's the same person.
That's it. I mean, the most angry we've made people outside of calling Dave Mustaine a bell end has been playing the Test match cricket theme tune and saying it was for Ski Sunday. That's still ringing on. It's still going. Oh, we had a clip go viral from the last episode when we were talking about the Stranglers. And sort of, I don't know, I think they're one of those fandoms that just encourages people to pipe up and just comment on a video, go, yeah, cool. But last look at...
I can't even remember talking about the Stranglers.
I don't know, I don't remember either, but it's been watched about 38,000 times. That's not an exaggeration at all. So, jazz people, there's always a lot of interesting things around jazz people. I mean, they make the replacements look straight edge, a lot of them, quite frankly. And only thing I can really find, Elvin was late for a gig, so he stole a car to get to a gig. But
do you know what kind of car it was? Was it like a cool car?
Well, the problem was he stole a car,
or something,
but he didn't actually know how to drive. So he crashed it immediately.
How many points went onto his license?
Do you get points on your license if you don't have one? I think you go to prison, don't you, if you drive without a license?
Oh, yeah.
There must be something in place in order to stop people just. But I never understood as a kid. You'd hear stories about American teenagers stealing their parents' cars, or even young children, and I never understood it till I went to America with you and went, "Oh, everyone drives an automatic." So it's literally like pedal on the right makes it go, pedal in the middle makes it stop. That's it. Rather than change up to first, to second, find the bite point when you come to a corner, change down.
I drive so little these days. I cannot be fucked with a manual. Automatics all the way.
I've had an automatic for years. Well, I don't own a car, but my wife has an automatic. Anyway, that was very interesting riff of the week. And I haven't done the inattentive timer. Hang on.
Which is probably quite bad because we're at least an hour late recording this anyway.
We are. I have time optimism.
Inattentive for an hour already.
Right, so here's my riff of the week.
Can I read you something?
I was going to say, I think I've just won riff of the week after 163 episodes because you actually took your headphones off and looked at them in shock.
You must understand that repetition appears in both this suspense and this ascent as though existence recommended and reiterated itself once. It is no longer constrained by laws. Repetition. This is the important bit. Repetition belongs to humor and irony. It is by nature transgression or exception, always revealing a singularity opposed to the particulars subsumed under laws, a universal opposed to generalities which could rise the laws.
So that's the end of our stand-up segment for the episode.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that Stuart Lee has read this crap for fun as well.
What was it?
Charles Deleuze, Difference in Repetition. It's basically saying that repetition is funny.
Yeah, that's why I like techno. That pop, that's Rebecca, spelt Rebekah, and that when I ripped the track off YouTube, I was the 49th listener. It'd only been listened to 48 times. But I really like it though. I don't even know what it is. I've liked everything that she's released or everything that I've heard of hers. And there's something that's the perfect music to concentrate and get some work done for me. I just like how broken it sounds as well. It just sounds like someone's just, I don't know, ramped everything up on valve amps and just made it really.
Yeah, I think I hesitate to think someone was that. They were going through something when they programmed the sounds of that. That wasn't, hey man, let's just do some fun things. That was more like, oh, fucking do something.
I don't get it as angry music. I get it as kind of quite euphorical music, but the echoes, warehouse techno, kind of. It's trying to replicate the sound of Bergen nightclub in Berlin, where you get the kick and then it reverberates around. There's quite a lot of music like that, but I never thought of it as angry.
It sounds violent to me. It sounds like sounds like fucking Rammstein, actually. In some ways.
Do you know what? It's not that far, not a million miles away, is it?
No,
Right.
I would imagine there's quite a lot of hairy Germans with strap-ons fucking each other to it. No, not because that's what Rammstein evokes, not because of any other reason for Germany. That's what Rammstein evokes.
All right, let's see what the Rammstein fans like that when this becomes a clip for socials. Right, so let's move on to the theme for this week, because that's quite early on in the episode, really, to kind of go for the theme, and it is a theme we've had before, but not with you, Dr. Sam. So, what's the theme this week?
Foreign music.
Foreign. That's exactly what I've written down. I normally get it completely wrong. I thought you were going to say something clever like non-British English language music or something. Just foreign music.
It's sort of that. It's sort. I mean, at least my first choice is that. But basically, pop music globally pretty much is dominated by English language music. Most of it American, occasionally English, and then occasionally from someone speaking someone singing in English. But very rarely do we actually listen to stuff, and very rarely does this stuff get that celebrated beyond the definitions of a political border. But I mean, I say this, but I'm sure that's like the Spanish-speaking world is massive, and it's got a lot of countries involved in it. I think they're probably quite a different boat to, say, the English speakers.
So is it not just our filter that we think a lot of the world's music's English, in the English language?
No,
I mean, our experience, our bubble.
It is. I think very much our bubble that the language is mostly in English, but the stuff that tends to go beyond its own borders, I would say, is in English as well. I feel like living in Helsinki, I see these two streams. You have bands that sing in Finnish, and you have bands that sing in English, and it feels like, in a way, the Finnish bands, they're not really seeking an audience that far beyond Finland. If they get it, they're really they'll take it. They're really happy about that, and that's amazing. But
it's not part of the game plan.
It's not really part of the game plan. Whereas there is sort of an ambition to singing in English if it's not a language that you're fluent in.
Do you think the Chinese world's the same? Do you think they think a lot of music's in Chinese? This sort of really highlights the reason why this. If anyone wants to know, the first time we did this episode was with Dr. Hannah a long time ago. But one of the things that I found really interesting is, for one thing, surely I'm missing out on a lot of music because I don't go out and seek music that isn't in English.
Yeah.
Which is foolish, but it's not. I don't know what the reason for that is.
But, listening to extreme metal, for the most part, it doesn't really matter what fucking language it's in. It's not like we understand what the fuck is going on with all the shrieking and barking and grunting.
Shrieking, barking, and grunt. I like the grunting. Well, this thing I was going to look up, I wanted to see which metal bands do sing in Finnish or Swedish or Danish, but I don't think it matters. Oh my God, I've just realised I could have included one of my favourite live bands on here, and I just didn't. Kanonenfieber aren't in this. I mean, what an obvious... Oh my God, and Batushka. They would have been really obvious choices as well. Batushka's not only not in English, it's in an obscure Polish ecclesiastical dialect.
In a way, this is why I didn't go for any of the extreme metals in my choices, is because I thought, well, you know, even if you choose fucking like, I don't know, Cannibal Corpse, Cephalic Carnage, or the Black Dahlia Murder, it's not like you really understand what's going on lyrically anyway. Whilst if you're not actively reading the lyric sheet, which I haven't really done beyond the age of about 17.
Most bands, I didn't realize lyric sheets was such a thing. I've been reading the Mick Houghton book. He was, I think I mentioned it on last previous episode. He was a press officer, and talking about how bands like Jesus and Mary Chain and Echo and the Bunnymen were fighting their record labels because they didn't want to put out lyric sheets. And I didn't realize they were so ubiquitous. I didn't realize they were such a thing, really. They certainly weren't in my world until later on, because a lot of lyrics are kind of bollocks. I think it's nicer just to have to try and figure them out yourself.
It's fun. It's half the fun. Like, it only realized I was listening to what's it, that old Dirty Bastard song about hey dirty, I've got your money, baby, I've got your money.
I was thinking about that in the shower this morning, bizarrely. It's got Khalees on it.
And this is and you know, this is like how stupid I am. I did not understand that she was saying hey dirty as in hey old dirty bastard, I've got your baby, I've got your money.
No, I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all.
It was only recently when I listened to it after I don't know how long. I mean, there was a big song. I don't know how long that song's been in my head and how long it's taken me to actually pay attention to.
Have we done
what she
misheard
might be
lyrics?
saying?
We must have done misheard lyrics. Or is that a bit too obvious?
I think we've done misheard lyrics.
I'm just looking. It was October 2024 that we last covered non-English language tracks, and that was with Dr. Hannah. But I wasn't making a note of episode numbers back then, so I don't know what the number is. But no one's going to look it up anyway, are they?
My first choice is an interesting mixture of misheard lyrics and foreign language lyrics.
Right, let's play it then, shall we?
Indecisions bugging me. If you don't want me, set me free. Exactly whom I'm supposed to be. Don't you know which clothes even fit me? Come on and let me know. Should I cool it or should I blow?
Kind of nuts that video, well, the video for the version of this that I used for the clip has them playing Shea Stadium, which I periodically forget happened, and then kind of go, that's incredible.
Yeah, but that was supporting the Who, so
was it really? I always thought it was,
as far as I know. Yeah,
I didn't know. I just thought, wow, I didn't realize the Clash got so big. I honestly did not know that.
There was one point when they sold out some massive venue in New York, like for 2 weeks solid or something like that.
Wow.
I can't remember. I'm not going to check that up. But do you want to know about this? We
ought to say what it is, really.
This is should I
Who
stay or
wouldn't
should I
know?
go? Yeah. Fucking read. Yeah.
Well done for stopping yourself then.
Yes. So, do you know who Joe Eli is, or Ellie?
Name rings a bell.
Ely. He's a American singer, songwriter, and guitarist. One of the so-called main movers of Austin, Texas's progressive country scene in the 1970s and 80s. And you know what Joe Strummer's doing in the background? You know, so you have Mick Jones on the top singing in English, and his diction is pretty good, particularly compared to Joe Strummer. And then you have Joe Strummer in the background saying something. What language do you think Joe Strummer's singing in?
I'd guess Spanish, is it?
Well, this is from the book. Well done, me. Redemption Song, Joe Strummer by Chris Salowitz. By chance, Joe Eli ran into Mick Jones and Joe Strummer in New York when they were recording Should I Stay or Should I Go? Arbitrarily, Joe had decided that his section, Joe Strummer had decided his section of the tune should be in Spanish. Strummer said, "Hey, help me with my Spanish." So me and Strummer and the Puerto Rican engineer Eddie Garcia, who wasn't Puerto Rican, he was Ecuadorian, sat down and translated the lyrics into the weirdest Spanish ever. When you listen to Should I Stay or Should I Go, there's a place in the song where Mick says split. Joe Eli Ellie recalled, me and Strummer had been yelling out the lyrics. Me and Strummer had been yelling out the Spanish background lyrics, and we had snuck up behind him as he was recording. We were behind the curtain, jumped out at him in the middle of singing and scared the shit out of him. He looks over and gives him the dirtiest look and says, split.
It's like,
and they kept in the final version.
So split is like how you tell someone to fuck off if you're like a cast member in Greece or something. Split. I mean, really? That really what he said?
But also the thing is, apparently they called up Eddie Garcia's mother. This is from another place. They called up his mum and said, "Can you translate these lyrics?" And the phone line was really bad, and so it's just this garbled nonsense. It's not really Spanish at all. It makes no sense in Spanish. It is garbled nonsense, misheard 2 ways on the phone, probably.
So there's a track that I couldn't use again because I used it before, but Adriano Salatino, he had a song called, I'm going to try and say it, like Prison Collins. So it's an Italian guy who was getting annoyed at how popular English bands were in the Italian charts. So he recorded a single that sounds like it's English, but it's not. It's just gobbledygook. It's just like all the language. It sounds correct, but it's just complete nonsense. And it went to number 1. It was his career-defining hit. But I couldn't use it again because we do repeat ourselves. I don't want to repeat myself like that closely. But yeah, that was cool, and actually had a nice story behind it. So I'm going to say, well done, Sam. And here's
thanks.
Here's my first choice is a bit more on the nose. Oh, sorry, I've accidentally maximised the window that we're recording, and I can't find the other bits that I need. So I've just seen a picture of Jesus that you sent me on Messenger.
Accept me.
Right, we need to get on. Sorry, is this?
Bam bam, mon ça se passe, j'ai sur mon lit à bouffer sa langue en buvant, prends mon whisky quant à moi, peu dormi, vie débris, mais j'ai dû dormir dans la gouttière où j'ai eu un flash. En 4 couleurs. Allez hop, un matin, une louloute est venue chez moi, poupée de...
I love that. I remember the first time I ever heard that, I just kind of went, "That's something very pleasing about the." Was it well in rap you'd call it the flow, the sort of the boom 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 boom, and I always assumed it was he Flemish, Plastic Bertrand. Do you know anything about? I take it you've heard this before.
Yeah. It's a great song,
but it's complete bollocks apparently. It's complete nonsense. There's no the lyric. There aren't really any lyrics for it. It's just a nonsensical string of words supposed to emulate the feeling of being on LSD, which I wouldn't know about. And a fact I'd forgotten is that it's not actually It's not Plastic Bertrand singing on the track. It's the producer. His producer was called Lou Deplique.
He's just place filler.
He recorded the song entirely by himself and then hired Bertrand, who was actually a drummer, just to be the face of the project. because he didn't want people to know. So it's like it's a mini
Bellini
Yeah.
situation. Yeah. Nice.
And
Is he pretty? Is he a good-looking man?
He's a pretty man. Well, it's hard to tell on the video because he's on he's performing on a trampoline.
I mean, you
Which
wouldn't, you wouldn't really want to hire, no offense to him, but one of the greatest vocalists ever, male vocalists ever, Noddy Holder, to represent you, to try and sell your stuff as sex. You know, would you? You want
must have been a
pretty
sex
man.
symbol though.
Noddy Holder.
People must have looked at him and gone, I would. I'd
Well,
chuck
his
some yogurt up. Something to hold on to.
Yeah. Those mutton chops. Oh, I'll eat those mutton chops.
I'd chuck some yogurt up that. Oh man, the things I learn.
Why are you googling chucking yogurt anyway?
What? No, I can't. It was a couple of friends, married couple, and we asked what time they were going to meet us somewhere, and he just replied when it was his birthday. He said, "When I finished chucking yogurt up the birthday boy." One of the most unpleasant phrases I've ever heard. Right, let's move on. So, here's your second choice. Oh. I wish I could get that bass sound. It only pops up on a few tracks. It sounds like a Fender Precision, but Tubular Bells has it. It's a real kind of pang. I don't even know how to describe it. It's not a twank, it's a pank.
Yeah, it's a pank.
Yeah, lovely aggressive sound.
But I think it's fingers rather than plec.
Oh yeah, no, I rarely use a plectrum. I've started using them again because I've got a new band who play really fast. Well, I do.
So,
no one else does.
Are you familiar with this band?
I know. I've heard the name Magma, but they're a bit like, to me, a bit like Gong or Faust, or there's all these bands that I know at some point I'm going to be able to grow a beard and stroke it whilst listening to these bands. Well, but I've not yet got to that point.
I came to the point that I dislike prog generally, you know, as like a genre of music. It's just not something that strikes home. So maybe the last chance I'll give prog is to listen to Magma, because they're French, and if you can't be, if anybody's going to marry ridiculous musical sort of know-how with ridiculous poetry, it's going to be the French. I'm full of national stereotypes this episode, and so I thought of Magma sound great. There's a few Magma bands, there's a few Zill bands that I really like. Zill bands is a musical genre that is a hybrid of jazz, fusion, symphonic rock, and neoclassical music that Magma really sort of established. And there's one or two, but particularly my favorite band, one of my favorite bands, Ruins and Ruins Alone, and stuff to do with this drummer called Yoshida Tatsuya. They do very much sort of style, like a really hyper version of this sort of music, like really hyper and really sort of crazy. And they are singing in a language called something. I can't.
I was going to say it's not sung in French, is it?
No, it's not French. It's Kobayan, something like that. The fictional language created by Magma's Christian Vander and Klaus Blasquez. Zill means approximately celestial, and so it's absolute. It's not nonsense what they're singing. It is.
It's a language, but But you know that thing of if you're listening to something in another language, occasionally words will sound the occasional word that sounds like it's British. Sorry, British is like it's English or whatever language you actually speak, just rings out of a sentence like a bell. So, oh God, I've heard it so many times over the years. But the first time my wife said she heard it, she had friends who was her granddad was Indian, so her mother and her would speak to each other in Gujarati Indian, and they'd chatting away, and just the occasional word like television would pop out or something. Oh, I've heard, get this. That was one of the things my family liked about listening to Radio Helsinki, is that they're chatting away, and then something will come up like blah 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 box cutter, or like something like I guess there's no Finnish word for that then, but in this, the word that a lot of people Germans here spring out is worst, which is sausage in Germany.
But yeah. So it's but this is. There must be Klingon bands these days. Bands that sing in Klingon. Of course
there are.
And but this is the precursor to that. This is pre-Star Trek. But it's the same level of nerdery. We have invented our own language. We spent the time to put together a language.
I can only think of one other time it happened, and I nearly made this other time it happened. I nearly made it one of my choices. But I've just found out that the 70s adaptation of Dune, was it? I thought it was 80s, the one with Carl MacLachlan and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
They were going to use Magma to do some of the soundtrack, which would have been, actually, frankly, anything would have been better. Any changes made to that film would have made it better. I loved that film until I saw the newer one and just went, well, the other one's dead to me now. So
I can't be bothered with any of it. It's all prog rock to me.
Well, no, the films, I mean.
No, that's what I mean. Actually, I was listening to one of Magma's later albums where they started incorporating funk and R&B into it. Really enjoyed it. Actually, really, really sort of like, yeah, I'm here for it. Whereas sort of, yeah, and but no, I mean, like, I can't get on with. I don't know. I like sci-fi, but I can't get on with the hard-fi aspects and all this sort of. I don't know. My kid's going through a Star Wars phase at the moment, and he keeps going, "Do you like Star Wars, Daddy?" And I'll go, "Find it quite boring."
Yeah, you weren't a fan of Star Trek either. My child's really into Next Generation Star Trek. My next door neighbour said that Star Trek raised him and gave him his sense of moral code on what's right and wrong, which
that's the Clash for me.
Well, fair enough, but
and the dead Kennedys.
I still love reading hard-fi. Fourth book by Agent Tchaikovsky in his Childrenov series came out on Friday. I just adore it already. It's so brilliant. The other band that sing in a language they made up is Icelandic band Sigur Rós.
Sigur Rós.
Yeah. Their songs are in a language that they invented.
Yeah.
I think
they were originally. You know what the original name was?
Go on.
Zigglezag.
What? Zigglezag.
Yeah, I heard.
They were the puppets on the breakfast thing on Channel 4.
Yeah, that's what Sigur
That's the
Rós
inspiration behind Sigur Rós.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to play my next track because we're just talking nonsense. I mean, like more than usual.
I understood far too much of that. What are you talking about?
You understood far too what? Well, Damon Albarn's singing in English, so I would hope you'd understand some of that.
No,
he's singing in Cockney. Or was it false, not Fockney? So the original version of this So it's To the End by Blur, but this is a version with Françoise Hardy singing the French parts instead of, I think before it's Laetitia Sadier from Stereo Lab. But Damon Albarn doesn't understand French, so
It's a bit of a clash element.
there is a bit of a clash element, yeah. So they had to ring their tape op. You haven't had tape ops in studios for years, but their tape op, literally the guy who controls the tape machine, his mother was French, so basically they got it translated over the phone. So that's happened more than once. I wonder if we could actually string that out to be a theme, like foreign language badly dictated over the phone whilst in the studio.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Or incomprehensible. The incomprehensibility of people speaking in a language they can't actually sing in, and we should never pick on people doing it to English apart from Guitar Wolf with Summertime Blues, because that's one of the greatest recordings of that track ever, and it's just like the passion of it.
Well, we found out in conversation before we started recording that Guitar Wolf are still going, which is just amazing.
But I have to say, the Universal was the point where I stopped. I think it was like a point where I just stopped listening to Damon Albarn that much.
Well, the Universal is a really fascinating song for me. So this is To the End, I think, is Park Life. But yeah, Park Life was definitely the end of loving Blur for me. First two albums, they were my favourite band, obsessed with them. But Park Life, because they became so famous, it meant they weren't our band anymore. So being dickhead teenagers, we'd start disregarding them. And then Great Escape came out, and it was just like a runoff kind of from Park Life. But yeah, so the Universal, originally they recorded it for Park Life and couldn't get it right, so they parked it. And the version that they couldn't get right, it's a reggae version, which, to the best of my knowledge, has never leaked out. It's never become available. I would quite interested to hear kind of what the reggae version would be, unless it sounds like UB Top or Level 42 or something. That's some kind of, I can't remember what they call it, pigeon reggae. Is that what they call it's called?
Yeah. Led Zeppelin style.
Oh, that's so bad.
I'd be interested to hear Blur. I mean, like warts and all.
So the
situation,
the video for this, they wanted to do they wanted to channel like an early 60s French film. And even all the influence, they quite wear them on their sleeve. You don't have to dig around really to sort of get the influence. Oh, the video for this shows a bit of Françoise Hardy in the studio. She was gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I don't know if she's still alive. It's said that with jazz bands, there's always interesting stories around the band that aren't really anything to do with the music. They're just a bit sort of entertaining. And I think you can say the same with Blur and Graham Coxon. He refused to be in the video for this unless he could dress as a milkman. Fine, okay, go for it. G. Anyway, that's just an obvious song. I keep thinking of all these other choices I was going to make, but I completely forgot to. So I was going to choose some stuff by the Sugar Cubes because they used to release the English version of the album and Icelandic version of the album, which I thought was interesting.
I mean, we could. A lot of like the pop hits of yesteryear were all re-recorded by local artists.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's how the Scatterlights did. The thing I like about the Scatterlights doing that is that they didn't just do the popular songs; they did theme tunes to the popular songs and popular films. Like my dad,
that's cool.
When I was a teenager, started getting into music and started going around record fairs and stuff. My dad was like, "Oh, if you ever find a copy of Guns of Navarone by the Scatterlights, can you buy it for me?" Really likes the Guns of Navarone by the Scatterlights, apparently.
It's a great version.
Right, so we are now going to go on to your third choice, which is...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
En mi tierra espera, en mi tierra espera, en mi tierra espera, en mi tierra espera, el eco de mi tambor, en mi tierra espera, el eco de mi tambor, en mi tierra espera. Yo nací en tierra morena, yo nací en tierra morena, donde da fruto el corozo, entre lumbar y pechiche y su ritmo
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
just awesome. Who is that?
That's a French band called Pixfay. Well, they're not really French. They're sort of all over the shop. I think quite Latin American, maybe a bit French, and then there's this obvious sort of like noise rock element to it as well. And they marry this sort of yeah. So this album came out 10 years ago, actually.
Oh, right.
Didn't know that. That's
So
quite a long time ago.
it's getting harder and harder to place when music was recorded because recordings sounded really good for 30 years now.
Oh, no, that's 10 years ago. So the album where the noise rock of the Kouma trio meets traditional Colombian music.
Oh.
And they have an album out this year, which I'll probably check out after we've stopped wasting time. And
We've wasted your time. We've wasted our own time.
and they're based in Lyon, France, and they are described as Pixfay keep evolving during its constant research of balance between the festive essence of Curulao, this African Colombian traditional music, and the wicks lit by pioneering research of Lyon's musical underground. And so they're sort of mixing Afro-Caribbean stuff, Afro-Colombian stuff with noise rock stuff. And that first album really sort of fucking brilliant, really cool, really great. Loved it. No idea what, I think maybe they're speaking Spanish, but they're based in France. How does that work?
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm definitely looking up some more of that though. Just sonically, apparently their gigs they're really good live act. Apparently, they want the audience to feel physically drained afterwards after an event. I mean, I've played.
Everybody gets a hand shandy.
I've been in bands where everyone gets yogurt chucked up them.
By the audience members whilst you're playing.
Oh, dear me. It is in Spanish, kind of. But it's the regional dialect from the Pacific coast in Colombia.
Okay, so yeah, but they live in France, which tells you all about like
they live in Lyon,
diaspora and stuff.
They live in Lyon, which I think is one of the best places to get a wrap for, but they only have them in London. You get my motorway service station sometimes. That's a poor joke, isn't it? Have you ever eaten from anything from Lyon?
That's a poor joke.
Yeah, it's good, but it's not quality.
Yeah, it is. They market themselves towards people who don't like food but still want to. People who don't like themselves but still want to try and eat nice food.
Got it there, just on the side. Hate yourself, love our prices.
Yeah. Don't want to feel awful about what you're eating, and like you should give up on things generally. Come here and pretend that you're not just giving up on life.
Right, I'm going to play. I'm just trying to think what is the most obvious choice I could make for an episode about foreign music, and
Cucaracha?
I went for the second most obvious choice.
Moi je m'en fous, c'est pour Bonnie que je tremble.
Quelle importance qu'il me fasse la peau. Moi Bonnie je tremble pour Clyde Barrow. Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde.
De toute façon, il ne pouvait plus s'en sortir.
La solution.
I was told by somebody, possibly Lauren Laverne on Six Music, that is some sort of instrument, but I don't think it is.
I think it sounds like someone being pinched on the bum rhythmically.
Oh, you wouldn't
keep endlessly not
surely,
expecting it.
Endlessly being surprised by it. Oh man!
Oh, I thought you had finished. Oh, I thought you had finished. Oh, I thought you had finished.
So there's several questions I have about this. Obviously, it's in French, and it's quite clearly in French, but quite why they sung to singing about Bonnie and Clyde. I don't know, but it has that slight bit where when they say their names, it doesn't. It just rings out like a bell, kind of like Bonnie.
Oh yeah.
The bit I wanted to clip was the bit with it's Serge Gainsbourg and Bridget. Is it Bridget Bardot? It's one of the Bardots.
Bridget Jones.
Bridget Jones. But so many questions. So Serge Gainsbourg was like a sex symbol, wasn't he? Because like Je t'aime is the other one they did with Thingy Burkham, someone Burkham. Yeah. And
I thought he did it with Buster Blood Vessel.
Or Buster Rhymes. But the confusing. I can't. I mean, what was it about Serge Gainsbourg? Was he a good songwriter? Because I mean, his songs they stood the test of time. They're still played and they're still liked. But I'm watching the video and it's him and Bridget Bardot stumbling around in a warehouse, and she looks stunning, and he looks like he's been awake for at least 2 or 3 minutes after not having had much sleep. And I don't get why it's such a big deal. Quite like the song though.
Well, I think there's an aspect. If I'm putting on my academic hat, I think there's an aspect of this is an academic hat. I think there's an aspect where people, sort of men define what women should find attractive, particularly in those days, and therefore sort of say whether Serge Gainsbourg was actually sexy or not. He was defined as such by people doing marketing for him at the time.
That's a tough sell. I mean, it'd be like making me the new face of Calvin Klein underpants or something.
I would wear your face on my Calvin Klein underpants.
I don't even put my face on. Although if you've got the nose, if you painted my picture on the crotch of a pair of pants and got my nose in the right place, then you could make my nose wiggle like that. But then somebody on the bus would ask you to pull your trousers back up.
What I quite like the idea of is, like some men's underwear, you have this, you have these 2 overfolding layers. We peel them back, and then you can have a wee.
Oh right, so
cut out the gusset, the cutout. Yeah, no, the cutout. Well, if you just take one layer away and just have a face there, that'd be quite fun.
You'd look like Cyril Sneer from the Raccoons. Is that a cultural reference you get?
Yeah.
Yeah. The old penis knows himself. Right. I tried by subscription underpants, and they were really uncomfortable. Didn't like them at all.
Why would you need subscription? How often do they send you new underpants?
They'd send you a pair of pants once a month. And they
send you.
They were awful. They were really
Who
uncomfortable.
Needs that? Do you just wear the pants for the whole month, and you
just don't take them off? Like constantly waiting to hear your letterbox go so you can put a clean pair of pants on.
Yeah, just unpeel the crust.
I just got all the skid marks are all the colours of the rainbow.
Why would they send you one a month? I don't. Some things aren't subscription models. Some things you need to buy when you run out of them.
They're trying to make everything a subscription model at the moment. I mean, especially if you buy stuff on Amazon, which I know you don't have Amazon in Finland, but you can buy almost anything, and it says, "Oh, you can get this 1 pence cheaper if you do it as a subscription," and it will be something like you don't want to buy in the first place, like Anusol, and it'll be like. You can get this cheaper if you make it a subscription. Like, if I haven't figured out, I don't know why I chose Anusol. It's for the comedy of the name. I've never actually used it. I'm not supported by them. But surely, by the 3rd tube arriving, you ought to just go to the doctor and find out why your ass is so itchy. just don't.
I don't. I mean, yeah. I have noticed the subscription. I just sometimes you back in my day, back when I was a lad, you used to just buy the fucking thing.
I think the ones that we've got that are on subscription, we've got eco products on subscription. But if you miss time, it's just really annoying running out of stuff. So you then invariably have to go to the shop and buy the non-eco version.
I know. So I know toilet paper is a big eco subscription one. What if you eat a bit? You just have a dodgy stomach one month, for a few days.
Well,
You
it's what
gotta-
happened during COVID, wasn't it? There was the press got really excited about people panic buying toilet roll,
Yes, very excited.
and the shelves. I remember the shelves being empty, completely empty of toilet roll. That wasn't really panic buying because the tolerances, the way that the supply chain works, you can only have a very small variation in how much people buy, and it can be minuscule. And because all the stocking is done, as they call it, just in time supply chain, means that if one day everyone, 1 in 100 people buys more toilet roll than they would normally, it empties the shelves because there's nothing left to sort of come through for that. I did take pictures of all that stuff, thinking it would be an unusual thing, but the world's sort of collectively forgotten COVID, I think.
I think we are careening from one omnis shambles to another one at the moment. I think COVID in some ways seems relatively calm.
It's like looking
At
back
the
on
moment.
on the days of George Bush being president, which we thought was the end of the world. And they're like,
Those were the days when you said there's no evidence. They went, rather than and.
quite. Your point is, wow, right. Before I start going down the plan, there's an article in the FT at the weekend about America, the increased legitimization of assassination for regime control. But that's a topic that's very hard to squeeze a lot of comedy out of. So instead, I'm going to play.
I don't know. I think it's quite a good one. What was Trump saying the other day? Oh yeah, we have enacted regime change. The first people, we've got rid of all the first people, and then the second people, we killed all of them, and then we've got the third people. So I think you're trying to redefine what regime change means rather than changing of personnel.
Quite. Right, we ought to play your last choice.
C'est le beat pour le mouvement hip-hop. Coûte que coûte, j'écoute et je goûte cette solution aqueuse qui les rend heureuses. C'est du rap liquide, fluide, créé par un truc un peu speed qui file comme un bolide. Pour ne pas faire un beat du rap d'attaque qui frappe et pas te matraque et pas t'attraque. Plus de temps tu claques, suis MC des Carpates, un MC véridique authentique sans aucune panique. Prêt à frapper sur le beat, alors mon ami écoute bien cette musique. Car qui sème le vent récolte le tempo.
Second appearance for this artist in Beat Motel. First appearance was when I had to choose a track for the non-English episode that I did with Dr. Hannah. So nice to see you've not chosen the track, because there is
Caroline.
one track of his, which is, everybody knows, but his flow is just, it's so wonderful.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
We'll say who it is, really.
MC Solar or Claude Henri Barali. And he is not French. He's, if we're being, he's a French rapper of Senegalese and Chadian origin. He was born in Senegal, Dakar.
Novel. It wasn't Caroline track that I think everybody knows. It was Nouveau Western. Do you want to know the choices from when this came up before? Because I'd be interested in seeing your response. So Hannah chose, her first choice was Abdelkader with Live à Bercy, Paris. Then she chose Bubblegum Crisis. You know any of these bands? And that song was Konya wa Hurricane. Then Maria Arnal Marcel Bagdas. Does that mean anything? Mina? No. My choices were, Sugar Cubes. Okay, so I did choose that before. MC Solar, and I chose Nouveau Western, which is the one I think I was used on TV adverts and got really popular. Wizzo. Yeah. You know who I mean? The Fat Wreck Band. And then Adriano Celentano, which is the one where it's just in gibberish. But we ought to get back to this one. So, why did you choose this? Tell me about it.
I haven't sort of listened to more than the first album of his from 1991, but I don't know. He's iconic, non-Western rapper or non-English speaking rapper who who sort of stands up there as, you know, like, there's one. Okay, this is the thing that I think is quite interesting about hip hop. Hip hop is very much, you know, there's not a lot of melody going on with a lot of the rappers, and people say it's all about the lyrics. And I was unfortunately listening to, I was cycling along and I had my headphones in. I was listening to something and it finished, and along came Eminem, and every other word was bitch, and it just was like, fuck me, how tiresome you are. And it's sort of a struggle. I know he was sort of like, there's a comic book aspect to Eminem, certainly. And I don't know. It's this thing of like, I don't really get a lot of hip hop because I can't really be bothered to sit down and listen to the lyrics and sort of really get into the nitty gritty. And I was listening to the recent BBC thing about MF Doom, who's very interesting because he is pushed so heavily as one of these sort of very esoteric and very intelligent rappers, but some of it just doesn't sound that good to me. I have no idea what MC Solar is saying. Sounds amazing.
Yeah,
He's got such a
it's the flow.
variety.
I think that's what cuts through for me. The flow is just something just wonderful about. He also the reason a lot of his stuff sounds so good apparently is that one of the guys from, I'm gonna have to look and see who it was. Yeah, Gangstar. So one of the guys involved with Gangstar just sort of was so impressed with him that he mixed the tracks, but he was signed to Polydor, and his first 4 albums they were unavailable between, well, they came out, it's early 90s, isn't it? They only became available again in 2021.
Oh,
and so you can listen to them again now, but that's got to kind of stifle your career somewhat, isn't it? Kind of like, couldn't press them, couldn't put on streaming service, couldn't do anything at all. So he was in France, but he was heavily supported by the Brooklyn connection, the Brooklyn elite.
Yeah, he's one of those names who've gone abroad, and I'm sure there's lots of very, very good French rappers, and he doesn't sound like he's trying hard, like a lot of other stuff. Sounds like it's really sort of trying to make a point, whereas this sort of like sounds so like this is just what he does. This is who he is.
It's a whole live hip hop's a whole world that I've only really glimpsed at in very small ways. You and I went to go and see Black Alicious ages ago, and as you said, it was full of middle class white backpacker types. But I've been to a gig in Ipswich with a friend of mine he's really into hip hop, but he's sort of into the underground of hip hop. And I went to a gig to see someone called, this is a confusing name, but Michael Parkinson. Well, I think
I've heard of him. Yeah,
I think it's actually Mikael Parkinson, and it was so strange going to something that I'd identify more closely as being like the type of gigs that you and I have been to a lot of, where it's slightly shambolically run. There's a PA, obviously, there's backing tracks, and they sort of took it in turns to do each other's backing tracks. I assume they're just like pressing play or something. But it was kind of fascinating because each act, there's about 12 acts, and then Michael Parkinson did a longer set at the end. But each act, they'd do like just 2 or 3 tracks, which I found really interesting. They're all really, really different, but there's some real commonality between them. So all of them go, when I say you say that got slightly tiresome after a little while. But then Michael Parkinson came on, and I ended up chatting to him and his record decks guy. What do you call it? Mixmaster. Afterwards, and they were fascinating, really interesting to speak to. And he's put out a lot of albums. And every time I hear them in my friend Milo's car, it's just absolutely great. And I sort of never really appreciated that there is a hip-hop underground. But of course there is. Of course there is. Like, why wouldn't there be?
Yeah, that's where the music tends to live rather than, the major labels who just, what do? They trip over something that gets big and then they just try to...
rinse it.
Yeah. And
Right.
it's a bit like, I don't know, like superhero films. have become.
There's no underground superhero films. Right, let's play my last choice.
No longer. They used to be. I really have a lot of time for that bass playing.
I was going to say I couldn't tell if the look on your face. This is useless for audio listeners. I couldn't tell if the look on your face was disapproval or if it was stank face.
No, it's that just like
definitely stank face. That was
ridiculous. Like I'm gonna slap, but I'm gonna slap in a very minimalist way. Fucking great.
I deliberately chose that bit because I'm contrary, so I didn't want to like hide what the song was, but I didn't want to just play a verse. That's what people want. So who was that, Sam?
I don't know. I don't know what the. I don't know. I never really bothered. It's so ubiquitous. It's one of the, but I don't like it that much that I never really bothered.
It's so weird, and I chose it because it is. It's the case where it was a hit in Germany, so it's Nina with 99 Luftballons, and then there was an English language version.
Yeah,
and it wasn't as much of a hit.
Was the bass playing the same?
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe that's where they fucked up. But it's one of those things that. What's the first fact everyone wants to tell you about 99 Red Balloons?
I don't know.
Oh, because there's the assumption that a lot of people think it's a party song, but it's about nuclear annihilation, which is the first fact that people give you. And the second fact, I've never got that far.
It's a bit like when you talk about Perfect Day by Lou Reed, then. Same sort of situation.
And he said quite categorically it is not about heroin. But then he would, wouldn't he? He's Lou Reed.
Oh, yeah. It's not about heroin. No, I've never done that stuff.
The other thing, these are stupid facts. During Hurricane Katrina, VH1 had a little telethon type thing, fundraiser, and somebody rang up and said they'd donate $35,000 to VH1 if they played 99 Luftballons on a loop for an hour. And VH1 did it. So, interesting fact.
Did the person pay up?
I don't know, actually. I'm going to have to... Well, no, it's covered in Music Radar and all sorts of different websites and on Wikipedia. So, right, that's the end of that episode. Oh, sorry.
that
was completely unexpected.
That's a full stop.
Do you want to say anything witty before we stop?
No.